Hey everybody, John Van Dyke here for New Jersey Exposed. Today is Wednesday, May 27th, 2020. Time is 12:09 p.m. New Jersey time. Well, once again, you know, the police just don't never seem to amaze us with the audacity. This time it has to do with Rumson police honoring those who gave their lives protecting freedom. Now, before I get into the story, let me give you the backstory. Back on April 4th, right around that time, it was the beginning of April, there was a man on his front porch in Rumson. Him and his friend were playing guitar, singing Pink Floyd songs. They were live streaming, and it attracted a crowd. Let me read you the news story real quick, and then we'll get on to the next part of this video. Cops in New Jersey have charged a homeowner after discovering him singing Pink Floyd tunes to a large crowd on his front yard. John Malgian faces multiple charges as the police in Rumson found nearly 36 people gathered outside his home over the weekend, the state's attorney said Sunday. Authorities received a call about a large party on Black Point Road near Wood Lane Saturday night that included a band, police said. When the police arrived at Rumson home shortly after 8 p.m., they found the 50-year-old singing Pink Floyd songs accompanied by another man playing an acoustic guitar, cops said. The band included microphones, amplifiers, and were broadcasting on Facebook Live, authorities said. Listening to the tunes at the home were about 30 people between the ages of 40 and 50, according to Rumson police. Many were in lawn chairs, some had alcohol, several became angry when the cops broke up the show. When we informed everyone that they must leave in accordance with Governor Murphy's executive orders regarding these so-called Corona parties, we were met with well wishes of F the police and welcome to Nazi Germany from this group, Rumson police said on Facebook. As cops tried to end the concert, the band played on, the Attorney General's office said. It was not until a Rumson officer directly approached Malgian that he stopped singing and playing, authorities said in the statement. Malgian was charged with reckless endangerment, get that, disorderly conduct, and 2 separate charges related to violating the emergency orders, according to officials. The governor's executive orders are common sense measures to keep people safe during this historic health crisis, Attorney General AG 711, that's what I call him, Attorney General 711, said in a statement. When people like the partiers in Rumson flout the orders and show disrespect and hostility to police officers, they not only put themselves and others immediately involved in peril, they risk inciting others to engage in such irresponsible, dangerous behavior, he has said. Well, we all know that's a bunch of crap, okay? We all know who endangers our lives every time they show up. So let me just say, police take an order, an oath. They take an oath. They put their hand to heaven, they put the other hand on the Bible, and they swear an oath to uphold and to defend the Constitution of the United States. The first most important amendment on the Constitution is the First Amendment. The right to assemble, freedom of expression, speech, you can protest your government, all to associate with others, all those nice little things. Our most precious, most important rights, and our founding fathers put that as *1 in the amendment. It's *1 in the Bill of Rights, which is the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. So all these officers at Rumson, including the chief, took that oath to honor and defend and uphold the Constitution. So they show up, and what do? They don't honor their oath. They show their allegiance to the governor. And that oath that they took mentions nothing in there about the governor. Absolutely nothing. The First Amendment is very clear. In fact, I believe the First Amendment of the New Jersey Constitution is very clear. So all those officers that showed up violated their oath. They blatantly violated. Then they go and they violate that man's constitutional rights by telling him he can't play a guitar. And then they go and they tell all these people standing there who are in their 40s, 50s, who I think are old enough to make a decision as to what they want to do. They don't need Big Brother telling them how to behave. And the police were met with FU in Nazi Germany, and rightfully so. Good thing I wasn't there. I probably would have been the loudest one of them all. And they proceed to arrest this man for engaging in constitutionally protected activity. So, now let me bring up Rumson PD's Facebook page. Give me a second. Let's get that up. Borough Rumson Police. Here we go. We got the page up. Let me bring their posts up. And as you know, we just had Memorial Day the other day, where we remember those who gave their lives, who sacrificed their limbs, they sacrificed their blood, they sacrificed their sanity to fight and preserve freedom here and abroad. So let's read what Rumson PD had to say. Rumson Police Department would like to take a moment to remember all those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Let's all take a moment to remember what Memorial Day is all about. Wishing everyone a safe Memorial Day with the ones you love. Now that was one posting they did at May 25th at 2:37. They got another one here they did May 25th at 9:59 a.m. And let's read what that one has to say. Please join us in honoring and remembering those who gave their lives serving in the U.S. military with the 2020 Rumson Virtual Memorial Day service. Now, I did post something on there, and let's see what I had to say. All right, it's still here. And I said, and let's remember who dishonored their deaths by not honoring their oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. Your oath is to the Constitution and not some fascist, out-of-control governor. Wish you were here. Now, Wish You Were Here has to do with the Pink Floyd song that the man on his front porch was the last song he was playing, I believe. So let's get over to the other post. Let's see what I think I put something there also. Oh, yeah. I just reposted the same thing pretty much. It said, let's remember what department failed to honor your oath to uphold and defend the Constitution and freedom. Wish you were here. And that's that. So what I'm trying to say, people, Rumson Police, bunch of hypocrites, pick and choose. You know, they're despicable. They use these Facebook pages now to further their propaganda. It really is what it comes down to. I look at all these police department Facebook pages, and it's nothing but propaganda. It's either a picture with them, some kid handing them an ice cream, or doing a drive-by, waving with the sirens on, or some kid giving them Girl Scout cookies, or baking them chocolate chip cookies, or some crap like that. It's always sad, you know. It's always some, or any number of things. They exploit children like you don't believe. They're going to read books to kids or some crap like that. But the truth of the matter is, these police officers, the only oath that they honor is their oath to each other. The brown shirt oath. That's the only one they honor. When it comes to the Constitution, they don't honor anything. Because if they did, they wouldn't have gone over and arrested that man. They would have just gone by and ignored the whole thing. Or maybe just sat there and watched. But they didn't do that. They violated that man's rights, and that's going to end up in court. And I don't know how you can charge people with anything. The governor's order is not a law. So they're going to use some other contempt of cop charge, and then they show up, and they're going to try to escalate things. And unfortunately, people fall for the bait all the time. Where the cops show up, the cops escalate, and people get emotional and loud, and they lose control, and then they end up getting arrested for disorderly conduct. The typical contempt of cop charge. But Rumson Police, now one other thing about Rumson Police, not too long ago, they had a picture of one of their, I believe he was a sergeant, standing there with some, I don't know, bunch of sandwiches that they got from some deli, and they're going to give it to the to Riverview Medical Center. So I put a wisecrack on there. I said, it looks like he already ate a couple sandwiches. And this sergeant came back and he threatened me. He absolutely threatened me. He said, you know, why don't you come down? You know where I'm at. That was a threat. So my dear friend Steve Ronco filed a complaint against this officer for threatening me. Now, I let it go, but Steve didn't. So kudos to Steve for not letting it go. I let it go because sometimes I feel like I can't fight every battle that I encounter. I have to pick and choose. So Steve filed a complaint, and that complaint came back as founded. That officer, Ham Sandwich, had violated department policies and had been reprimanded. Now, I don't give much credit or weight in whatever that reprimand was. It's nothing. And Rumson Police Department, you know, they're a small department overseeing a very well-to-do neighborhood. They're not the choir boys in the county here. They had a sergeant a couple years back who blew the whistle on some nonsense that was going on, and then of course the people in charge retaliated against him, and I believe he had to leave, and he had a lawsuit going on, and as usual the lawsuit was probably settled at the taxpayers' expense. Okay, so that is the story there. Rumson Police waving a flag, honoring those who died fighting freedom while they are out there stomping and trampling all over your rights and ignoring their oath. I'll put the link in the description. You can check it out for yourself. Let me know what you think about these oath breakers. They're all over the place, but this one really stood out the most to me. Oath breakers over there, Rumson PD. This is John Van Dyke for New Jersey Exposed. Like, share, subscribe. Till next time, people.